Deep in the freezing North Atlantic, high-tech aircraft routinely scan the low clouds to track massive, drifting icebergs. It's a rigorous, utilitarian operation that sits in stark contrast to how humanity approached these same waters a century ago. Back then, the White Star Line envisioned ocean travel defined by luxury, outfitting their ships with heated swimming pools, squash courts, and imported Turkish baths. Inside, ships like the Titanic looked like a floating royal hotel rather than a vulnerable vessel exposed to the elements, obscuring the harsh reality of the ocean outside. Today, an international coalition uses satellites and ships to painstakingly track hazardous ice. This hyper-vigilant safety net exists today because of the extreme overconfidence that built that 1912 floating palace. To understand the disaster, you have to look at the scale of the Titanic's construction. It took 15,000 workers in Belfast to assemble what was at the time the largest moving object in human history. Moving 3 football fields worth of steel across an ocean required a staggering amount of power. Below decks, 29 massive boilers burned through more than 600 tons of coal every single day. All of that energy was transferred to 3 bronze propellers, the outermost standing as tall as a 2-story house. Observation of this immense mass of metal led many to conclude it was practically unsinkable. It was a title born out of unchecked overconfidence rather than any official safety certification. The engineering had outpaced the safety frameworks of the era. They built a mechanical giant, but left themselves exposed to the unyielding physics of the sea. The Titanic actually had cutting-edge technology on board, like the Marconi wireless radio, but instead of using it as a critical navigation tool, it operated as a novelty for first-class passengers. The ship's 2 radio operators spent their shifts working to relay personal messages and greetings to the shore, prioritizing this endless stream of social chatter over monitoring incoming frequencies. Because they were buried under a backlog of these passenger telegrams, multiple ice warnings from other ships were set aside. The 6th and most critical warning of drifting ice directly in their path never reached the captain's bridge. Outside, a rare environmental anomaly was making things worse. The ocean was completely flat, a mirrored sea, without waves splashing against the base of the icebergs to create a visible white rim of foam. Massive blocks of ice were camouflaged against the dark water. The crew's attention was trapped inside the radio room, while the ocean's optical illusion hid the danger outside. The ship was sailing into a frozen minefield. This diagram shows the ship's safety design: 16 separate watertight compartments. The engineering logic dictated that even if 4 of these forward sections completely flooded, the ship would stay afloat. At 11:40 p.m., the lookouts finally spotted the ice, but the ship was too heavy and moving too fast to execute a sharp turn. It struck the ice with a grazing blow along the starboard side. The impact didn't smash a giant hole. It popped the rivets and opened a series of thin gashes. But because of how the ship turned, those gashes spanned precisely 5 of them, one single compartment past the mathematical limit. Realizing the mathematical certainty of the ship sinking, the wireless operators abandoned the passenger telegrams and stayed at their stations, transmitting the newly adopted SOS distress signal into the dark. This map charts the response. The RMS Carpathia received that distress call, turned around immediately and pushed its engines to reach those coordinates, but the distance was too great. Arriving hours later, all the Carpathia found were the survivors who made it into a vastly insufficient number of lifeboats. A mechanical failure involving just one extra flooded room dismantled the entire system, ending the belief that human engineering had finally conquered the natural world. The immediate regulatory response forced ships to carry enough lifeboats for every single human on board, rather than calculating the requirement based on the vessel's weight. They also instituted a strict global mandate requiring a 24-hour radio watch on all commercial vessels, ensuring an emergency call would not go unheard in the middle of the night again. Ultimately, the tragedy drove international leaders to draft SOLAS, or the Safety of Life at Sea Treaty. It's a set of global standards that still governs fire drills, life jackets, and emergency training for every ship operating today. This disaster forced a move toward constant oversight. Instead of relying on a distress signal after an impact, maritime agencies now focus on preventing the collision from ever occurring through standardized global rules. As for the ship itself, it sat lost in the darkness for 73 years until oceanographer Robert Ballard used a robotic camera to locate the wreck in 1985. Down in the abyss, scientists discovered a unique species of bacteria, Halomonas titanici, that is actively consuming the ship's iron. These organisms form icicle-like structures called rusticles. As they feed, they break down the metal, allowing the ocean to slowly recycle the vessel back into the earth. While the physical structure dissolves, we are left with the record of the crew who maintained order and the musicians who played to keep people calm, securing the survival of those they could. As the wreck returns to the seabed, the safety protocols born from its loss remain. Every modern traveler in the North Atlantic is protected by the specific lessons learned that night in 1912.